and welcome into Friday. Let's see if I can hear you guys, or if I can hear myself, I should say, or if you guys can hear me. What the hell am I saying? Let me do my sound check. All right. I don't know why I always do that. I just want to ensure, but as usual, it just seems to be working out pretty fine. Just fine. So let me get oriented here and I'll say hello to everyone. Oh, man. All right. So let's see what we got going here tonight. Welcome to Friday. It's a Friday night live stream, and it's today is Friday, March 28th for those of us on the live stream, and on the replay, who knows when it is. But we hope that everyone who's watching is doing okay, having a good time, and relaxing, and hopefully you enjoyed the time here. Um, we'll be doing a couple things tonight that should be pretty interesting. Same old, same old. But before we get into it, let me say hello to those of you who are in the live chat at this moment that we are recording. And if you happen to be in the Lurker crew, please go ahead and join the live chat. All right. So let's see who is in here. We got Court of Public Opinion. Welcome in. He says, subscribe and like. Icy Cat. Welcome, Icy Cat. K Miri. What's up, K? All right. Plain Iron. Maria Alma. Hello. KFC. Hello. Say what? Hello to you. Kate Eleanor says England doesn't recognize UFOs. Um, for baby daddy. Hello. David Rogers. Welcome in. All right. I'm slowly getting there. It's just Oleg Katz here. Dennis McKean is here. Welcome, Dennis. Welcome, Kay. All right, Kay is here. Nancy Drew is here. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Rebecca Ann, 1965. Welcome in. All right. Sweet Dude Shibby. Welcome in. Tracy Fleetwood. Welcome to you. Sure, you're a stalker who has a fetish is watching this channel. I think all the stalkers watch this channel regularly. I mean, judging from where what I see out there, they're welcome to hate watch. Okay, welcome Deb. Welcome Keith Kellogg. Welcome Dennis McKean. All right, Deb, Fur Baby Daddy. Hmm. Who else do we have here? Jenny. Welcome, Jenny. Hey guys, at Plasma, so I can't reply. Can't pump one hand and text with the other at the same time. Regina, welcome. David Rogers, welcome. Indiana Nan, welcome. Okay, Amy, welcome. Okay, Digital, welcome. Stephanie, welcome. Pam Sheehan, welcome. All right, who else we got in here? Kate Eleanor. Hello, hello. Indiana Photog, welcome. Thanks for catching a live. Okay, we're getting in here. Who am I missing? 3, 2, 1, you're on. Yeah, we made it. Oh, Amy's reminding everyone turn your chat to all messages. That's always a good idea. All right, crazy Italian lady. Hello, welcome in Jonathan Smith. What's up, 4 Pitbulls across America? Also, Breenans, David, David, Stephanie. All right, Aaron. Hello, Aaron. Goddess, welcome, Goddess, and welcome, JoJo. Good to see you. Welcome, Debbie Packer. Welcome, Mrs. P. Imagine. All right. Deanna Burdette. Let's be realish. It's a God thing. Charisma 6174. All right, we got Deborah, Gretchen Allen, Farm Girl. All right, Donald Roberge, Aaron Town. Who's your daddy? 11. Shotgun Susie. Nat just Nat. Welcome in. Aloha 808. Crazy Girl 1203. All right. I'm not even going to try that. Welcome in, everyone, though. Welcome. Okay. Brenda Cooper, welcome in. Thank you for lurking. Enjoy the lurk. Jennifer Hoff, welcome in. Enjoy the lurk or the chat, whatever you choose to do. Jojo, my hubby just got home with pizza. Whoa, that sounds good. That sounds pretty fun right there. Wish I had a hot one. All right. Sunflower, what's up? All right. What's up, Sunflower? Bam. All right. So, welcome everyone. I so appreciate you having here. Thank you for the nice words, Sunflower. Oh my God. Okay. So, where did I tell you I want to begin tonight? So, there's so many angles I want to address. Um, First and foremost, I wanted to spend a little extra time focusing on the chat tonight because we've been doing so much that we don't always get to focus on the chat like I'd like to. So I'll try to do that more tonight, especially if you have questions. Maybe you can put a pointy finger or something to indicate, and that would make it nice. If you have questions or if you would like to comment, or even if you'd like to come on and be a guest on the show tonight, just let me know that in the chat. But so I thought it would be a good idea. What's up, Sherry? What's up, Silence? What's up, Missouri Mima? Laura Noron. All right. I thought it'd be a good idea tonight uh, to hmm to review what we did last night because honestly, there's been an amazing response. Okay, so there was an amazing response to last night's show where we went through the audio. Um, there have been so many emails, so many comments down in the comment section. Uh, I just could not believe when I woke up this morning the number of comments. I still haven't gotten to read them all because there were so many. So I thought, wow, it'd be a great idea because potentially lots of people who might happen to come across the stream tonight and watch us tonight potentially did not see the show last night and may have missed all of that. So what I figured we would do tonight is twofold. So I figured we would revisit that stuff. Okay, so we'll revisit the audio, and then you may or may not have remembered that we did a little looking. Okay, at the AI notes or breakdowns of my first 50 shows. So you may recall some time ago, maybe a week ago, uh, in one of my shows, towards the end, because it took so long to get through all of the content we were going through, that when we got to the end, I didn't have time to do uh, much more than that. So I just did a little reading through. I think I spent too much time on beating up one of the troll farm. So anyhow, that's the plan for tonight. So we'll be doing that. And you heard the left to right from your car. Interesting. Maybe not on the live stream. Let me go and explain that too, because I think I figured it out. Um, what's up, everybody? What's up, Deputy Dog? All right, thank you. And it looks like someone sent a gift. What was that? What was the gift? Let's see. We got David Rogers gifted a membership. So thank you, David Rogers, for gifting a membership. Wonder who got that. Did someone get a membership? Fur Baby Daddy. All right, classic, classic. All right. Aaron said she just remembered to hit the like. And I believe Jennifer left a super chat, $1.99. Thanks for all you do, Prof. Thank you, Jennifer. Awesome. So Jennifer with the super chat and David Rogers gifting Fur Baby Daddy a membership. So that's just classic. Welcome, Deputy Dog. Okay. Hey, what's up, Chris Canusa? All right. And Bex, what's up, Bex? What's up, Christina? All right. So yeah, there's been so many amazing comments about the audio. And so, newsflash, what I did also, so that all of you should know, is I made a playlist on the channel, which is called Delphi Bridge Guy Video Audio Deep Dive. Okay. And what I did is I uploaded the raw files of the audio enhancements. You understand that? So if you want to hear the stereo, okay, because what I said last night, what I figured out today is that the StreamYard platform that we're on here, for some reason, it didn't convey the stereo imaging with the compression that it does in order to live stream. So unfortunately, you missed out in the live stream on the stereo presentation. But if you look at the playlist, the very first video should be called Stereo Image or something like that of the bridge guy. Let me see what it's called because I don't want to lead you wrong. Okay. It's called Stereo Image of the Bridge Guy Video. It's in my video section and it's on the playlist. Stereo Image of the Bridge Guy Video. And if you take the time to go click on that video, and hey, it's only 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so when we're done here at a later time, you can click on that 5-minute video, stereo image of the Bridge Guy Video, and it'll enable you to very clearly hear because it uploaded in 4K and in stereo. It uploaded in high quality. So if you want the high quality samples, go down to that playlist or to the video uploads, and you'll get all the high quality samples. So if you're going to want to hear that, that's where they are. So good word to you. Anyway, let me say thank you, Mark Ellis, for the $100 holla. Thank you, Mark Ellis. All right. And thank you, Bex. Thank you, Ninja Warrior Assassin. Jennifer, it's not true. It's not true. Don't ever say it's true. It's a God thing. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Thank you, Mark, says silenced. Hit that like, says Bex. Mark Ellis, you the man. Y'all make me feel loved. You make me feel loved. Okay. I know I'm loved. I know I'm loved. It's like I said, I woke up this morning. You guys don't understand. I woke up this morning. I mean, I can't even tell you how many because I have not read them all, but let's see. Let's see if I can guesstimate here. Let's see. No, there's easily 150 comments. You understand? So I woke up to 150 comments or more on the video. So I think people were very interested in the audio, and I would like you to go and listen to the high quality uploads that are not on the live stream, but the ones in the video section. If you're really interested in the audio, and I highly recommend some earbuds or some headphones so that you truly hear. Because hey, it's a fact that headphones are like a microscope for sound. Okay, so when you put in earbuds or headphones, especially if they're high quality, it's like looking in a microscope at something visually. It's a microscope for your ears. So I highly recommend the earbuds or headphones if you're going to study the audio. Um, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm losing track here. I'm losing track. Okay, Deb. I don't have Cash App, Prof, but thanks for your hard work. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Deb. All right. So the deal is, when you support the channel, YouTube takes 30% or so, but Cash App takes 3% or so. So uh, that's why I have both options for you, and it's really for your own ease and your own preference. But I do appreciate all the support you guys send, truly. And anyhow, tonight I would like to get into this amazing audio again because, like I said, there may be people watching tonight who did not watch last night. So we won't do like we did last night. Remember last night we really did spend a lot of time looking at it. So we won't do that tonight, okay? We'll just present it quickly tonight. But you know me, I always have a problem not interjecting. But we'll try to go quickly through it tonight so we can get into our other stuff. And anyway, I want to thank everyone for being here. So let's see if I can manage this. What's up, Dave Bird? Dave Bird is, I can't even talk. Dave Bird is here. Dave Bird. Dave Bird is here, and Sarah's here with the flowers. Thank you. But happy Friday to everyone. All right. So look, let's get down to business. Enough bullshit. All right. So let's see if this works out. Hmm. Okay. So what you'll hear us do
See,
is
this is
we're going to get into the whispers. Okay, this is the whispers.
There's no
Presenting
path
for you again.
going there,
We'll
so
check
we
out
have
the
to get on here.
whispers right quick. So we're going to start zooming in on these whispers.
Hi.
If you look what I'm doing here, I'm pulling down. Okay, let me explain it for you. You'll see I'm pulling down the highest frequencies in the 15K range and above. What's up, Mandy?
There's no path going there, so we have to get on here.
Right, you see it boosting that 3K range.
Hi.
I'm gonna start pulling up these whispers.
we go down? There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the path that we go down.
All right, let me stop it there. So you see what happens? Once you mute out everything below that 300 hertz or so, you start muting all of that out, and I'm boosting up in the 2, 3, 4K range. You'll start to hear we cut out all that background noise, and we're bringing in the whisper, okay? And I'd like to say this. After the show last night, I did some thinking and I did some listening, and I do have some extra thoughts that I did not convey. But you know what's funny to me is how this will prejudice you. So in other words, the problem here with this entire situation is that if you go into this at all with some preconceived notion about how many people there are, what the context is, what's being said, what are the elements that are being referred to, if you have any sort of projection into this, you're going to basically be the victim of confirmation bias. You understand? So I noticed that as well in the comments that came in overnight. So those who had already been indoctrinated into a gun being in the situation, you understand how that works? They bring a gun into the situation. Those who think it's just Abby and Libby, they bring prejudice into the situation of it's just Abby and Libby. So what you really have to try to do is wipe the slate from what you think is going on here and start over. And when you're listening, try to understand what you're hearing first, and then maybe allow the possibilities. Okay, so I'll stop talking and play again. But I just wanted to say that because I noticed there's so many. Even I have been, no one's immune to it. I've been the victim of it as I've gone into this. First I'm just assuming it's Abby and Libby, and I'm assuming it's only Libby talking. I'm assuming it's Abby talking, and I'm assuming that, so we have to start cutting those assumptions. So don't assume Abby's talking. Don't assume Libby's talking. Don't assume, Bridge guy has a gun. So you stop assuming all of those things and start to listen. Okay, so I'll back off. And again, these, when they come across the live stream, are not nearly as clear as when you go and listen to the original files that you will find in the playlist or in the video section. So I uploaded all of these for you to go obsess over. I'd highly recommend in your free time, put on your earbuds or your headphones and sit down and go through and listen multiple times at the loudest volume you can take to all of these samples. And it's a deep dive you can do on your own. That's why I uploaded them all last night. So, anyhow, I'll stop talking. Let's get into this. Okay, I'm stopping it to say something, which is there's several things that so for sure I'm hearing S's, right? So for me, it's almost like, is he coming or see something or something like that, some S's, right? But I wanted to stop it to say the reason I'm showing you this screen here is because you definitely see Abby is mouthing something. But what I recommend you all do when you go back in the high quality version, you can look at it and match up the fact that her Abby's lips are not moving in sync with the sounds that are coming. So you have to think in a number of ways. First, that whisper is very close to the phone, mic or to the microphone, to the camera. Okay, so the whisper sound is very close to the camera. Abby is very far from the camera. Also, her lips are not in sync with the syllables that are being sounded. So not only is she too far, but there's this disconnect between what she's mouthing and what's heard in the whispering. So I don't know. Let it continue. Be prepared for your ears. Be prepared. You see what I mean about Abby's mouth moving? I guess another thing I have to say before I forget is that I'll let it play. Okay. What I have to say is a lot of people have said that see they're trying to come up with some kind of excuse. Let me come in for a minute and say it. So you know this troll farm, they're going to try to come in with excuses and rationalization for this. So of course, one of the excuses that they're trying to put across is that it's Abby, okay, which is unlikely. It's impossible. It's too close to the phone, and and like I said, the syllables don't match what she's mouthing over there. Secondly, they try to say, well, then it must be Libby. So it's Libby holding the phone, and it's Libby saying, Libby's whispering and then breathing. So Libby's whispering, but no, if you really detach and listen to it closely, the whispering is taking place at the same time as the breathing. They overlap momentarily. And there's no way that's happening. Okay. There's no way it's one person that's whispering and breathing. So it's a catch 22 because, you try to say it's Abby, it don't work out. You try to say it's Libby, it don't work out. Okay. So you have to listen for that the syllables are happening while the breathing starts. Anyway, I'll let that keep going. Okay. All right, let me remove this for a minute. All right, there we go. All right, so I want to move on. Okay, like I said, tonight we're not going to obsess like we did last night. If you're interested in this, and you were not here last night, you can watch the stream from last night and we do a little more deep dive into it. But that covers that really quickly. That covers the whispers. Okay. Now, I think those are all the thoughts I have about the whispers. Uh, but I do have other thoughts. Okay, so let's keep moving through these because I do have other thoughts. And those thoughts I did not express last night. So they're new thoughts or thoughts that I did not remember to cover. So let's go back. And I am reading your chat. So hopefully, if some of you say something that triggers something in me, I'll also, bring that in. All right. So where are we?
See, this is the path that we go down. See, this is the path. See, this is the... See.
All right, shit. I'll just say it. I'll say it before it starts because remember, right here, I'm going to try to pull in this voice. Now, I'm telling you about my prejudices. So let me go into that because these confirmation biases, they are really self-destructive, okay? So we're listening for this voice that happens and it's indistinguishable what it is. And the point of this clip here is I'm trying to pull it out to the surface and maybe hear what's being said. But then I realized last night after we were done, I laid down and I thought, I made a mistake. I'm making a mistake. I'm assuming and I'm projecting that it's Abby, right? I'm assuming that it's Abby, which is a mistake because who's to say it's not some other voice? It's not some other individual off camera. All we know, it's an indistinguishable phrase that happens off camera. We're assuming it's Abby because she's coming closer to the camera. But I don't know. So I'm going to say, let's listen to it and think for yourself. You don't know it's Abby, but it could be, it might be, probably is, but could not be. But it's this little phrase that's hard to distinguish, like all of this, right? But let me zoom in on it here, and we'll see. We'll see here. So, come on, Prophet Pooh.
This is the... See, this is...
You see? And what I'm saying here is, you know what made me think of it? Because look at how far Abby still is from the camera. And I don't see her. I'm just saying, look at Abby as this voice is being heard. I don't see her. I don't see eye contact as if she's saying, don't leave me here. Just keep going. Or whatever she's saying. I don't see that she's directing it. If you look down at the camera under me here, you'll see that you can't really say that it's her. Could be, but could not be. So I mean, I can almost hear Kelsey's watching. Kelsey's watching, or I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard. Just keep walking. Kelsey's watching. Mm, something's coming. I mean, it's difficult, okay? And realize that like we are trying with these frequencies to filter through it. And all of you can, well, not all of you maybe. Some of you will be able to take this further and maybe play with it, you know. But I'll let it continue. I apologize for stopping it. I just my ears needed a break and kind of riffing it here as I'm as I'm thinking of things, I'm stopping it to not forget them. I mean, I'm almost hearing Kelsey's watching. Kelsey's watching. Kelsey's watching. Just keep walking. Something's coming. Kelsey's watching. I don't know. Anyhow, like I said, I have the original files up for you, and any of you could take a similar approach to this. Um, I think the most important takeaway for me is don't assume that it's Abby, although it's likely Abby. Okay. For me, it seems like it's likely Abby, but I'm not going to exclusively say that it's Abby because it's there's a potential that it's not Abby. So anyhow, so now the I want to keep moving through this, and I want to hit the next focus. And again, we did this last night, but we'll quickly go through it now, which is I want to focus on the vehicle again. And this time without saying as much as I said, because I think I talked a lot last night while I played it. But I want you to listen to this vehicle because I thought a lot of things. And I guess going into it, I'll prejudice you with this projected into your minds. I guess the thoughts that I had were that the vehicle is closer than the highway. Okay, that's my first thought. My second thought was it's a heavy truck or a muscle car, or it's a really close ATV or something. So it's hard. It's hard to determine what's going on, but sort of the way that I play this out in my mind is that this vehicle is coming into the area. So I'm looking at it as it's probably coming onto the private drive is I would say Occam's razor is the most simple explanation is this vehicle is coming onto the private drive. Anyway, we can get into that later, but let's play it. Again, for those of you with sensitive ears, this hearing, protect your hearing here. Be careful with your hearing. It's going to get loud. And protect your hearing, but you'll hear very clearly what the vehicle sounds like. And hey, I know there's a science to this. Surely there are forensic audiologists or somebody who could literally take this and probably figure out what kind of engine this is. But let's listen to it, and I'll get on out of here while it plays so I don't disturb the process.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. The path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the path that we go down. path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Okay. That's a lot to listen to. And it's so loud. So loud. Here's the thing I would say is definitive. It's pushing. It's pushing. That vehicle is pushing that engine. You know what I mean? That's not a grandpa taking a leisurely drive. You understand what I mean? So it's interesting. It leads me to speculate a scenario. And you know me, you know what I feel is basically like there's some sort of scenario here. Okay. Well, let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, it makes my heart race hearing that car. Yeah, but yeah, because for me in the scenario I'm envisioning, hearing that sound, it sounds like someone's trying to get to where they're going, which is why I initially thought it has to be the highway. You know, I thought for sure it has to be the highway that this is happening. Because who would be driving that fast or that aggressively on a little gravel road like is all throughout the area? But yeah, 5 green acres. That's what I'm getting at. Is what it's leading me to believe is this is someone who is coming. Like what I'm envisioning is like you can definitely hear that this person is pushing this engine. You hear that they are coming closer. So let's be honest here. it's not a vehicle on the highway at Freedom Bridge that's already come under the Freedom Bridge at 70 miles an hour, and then it's progressing on, and the sound is getting further away. It sounds, for at least to me, like it's a vehicle that is going at a high rate, but that it's coming in. If you notice to the if you listen to the sounds and you notice that vehicle is coming in, and it's also aggressive, which to me means it's coming in aggressively, which would lead me to my confirmation bias, which is that I think it's a possible abduction scenario, because, like, I honestly do and always have believed there's got to be a reason those bodies are not found, right? So the reason that I would speculate is that those bodies are not found because those girls were kidnapped or were brought somewhere else. And so if at the moment of this video, if this moment of this videoing happens to be the moment or the moments before they are abducted or taken away in a vehicle, it would kind of make sense. So I'm assuming that what we're hearing is a vehicle coming on in aggressively. And I would say there's somewhat of a chance, I don't know, a 50% chance that it might be a vehicle coming in to transport these girls. I wouldn't bet on it. I mean, it's 50-50. I don't think we could see, we don't want to be that way. We don't want to be projecting our own desires onto this recording and saying, well, yeah, it absolutely proves that's the vehicle coming to abduct them. But I mean, it could be. There's a potential that it could be. It also could not be. But I think it's odd that on these gravel roads, this vehicle is humming at a clip like this and coming on in. I mean, honestly, from before the time that Richard Allen was arrested, I assumed that these girls were kidnapped off the south end of that bridge and put in a vehicle. This has always been my assumption. I never did buy the chase across the creek scenario. I mean, I entertained it, but I never really bought that they would be chased across the creek, but somehow not found for 19 hours. With Ron Logan living there, who would clearly know his land. No. What else would I like to put into this scenario? Okay, let me put this one in. Someone gave an interesting comment. Remember I said we had 150 comments last night? Someone gave an interesting comment on this, and they said, Prof, maybe that third girl is the girl who took this photo. But I don't know about that, because this photo has always seemed to be kind of Photoshoppery, to me. But that was one of the comments. You may also know, if you've listened to this channel for a number of years, I guess you should know that my theory with these girls for some time was that they were geocaching and that they went to Wilson Bridge on foot. Okay, so I had this theory that they end up at Wilson Bridge. So my assumption is that they end up at Wilson Bridge because there is a geocache at Wilson Bridge. There's one at High Bridge. There's one at Wilson Bridge. My opinion was that these girls were geocaching. So my thought is, okay, they're geocaching. So what they're doing at High Bridge is they're going to the geocache at High Bridge because they were obsessed with this geocaching. And so I assumed then that, well, if they're obsessed with geocaching, you've got two geocaches within a mile from each other. One happens to be at High Bridge. One happens to be at Wilson Bridge. Maybe what they decided was that, hey, we can kill two birds with one stone. We can geocache it at High Bridge, and it's only a mile to Wilson Bridge. We can geocache the Wilson Bridge. No, I don't know though. I don't know. I don't know if they walk to Wilson Bridge or if they're brought by vehicle to Wilson Bridge. They could be brought by ATV. They don't have to be brought by a car or a truck. I mean, what we could be hearing a vehicle coming in to bring them to Wilson Bridge. You know, what if it's the ATV and the ATV's coming in? The girls are going to hop on it, and he's going to bring them on over to Wilson Bridge, and he's going to bring them on back, something like that. I don't know. You know, this is my personal stuff because, of course, I've had some of the trolls say, Prof, no one cares about your bullshit. No one cares about Wilson Bridge. No one cares about methamphetamine. So I just wonder, you know, are they brought to Wilson Bridge by vehicle, by ATV, whatever you want to call it? Do they walk to Wilson Bridge? Anyway, I think it's interesting to hear this vehicle the way that it's moving. I think that anyone out there that is a science of the audio spectrum could get off their butts and start to pick this apart, start to pick the audio apart. But anyway, let's finish with this so we can move into part 2 of the stream for tonight. So we'll finish off here with the down the hill, because my final attempt here was to listen, Linda, stop gaslighting. You can walk to Wilson Bridge. You can walk to Wilson Bridge. It's 28 minutes from High Bridge South End if you go that way. I've had two separate people do the walk and time it. One was 26 minutes, one was 28 minutes. It's possible. So sorry, Linda. I'm not trying to argue. No, you see, you want to argue. I'm telling you, I've had people walk the creek bank, the easement. It's a mile and a third. It's a 28-minute walk along the creek, not by road. If you're going by road, I would assume that you're taking a vehicle. So I had always allowed in the timeline they go walk onto Wilson Bridge, okay? Because if they're dropped off approximately 1 p.m., like the FBI says, that gives them plenty time. That gives them plenty time. You see, they're dropped off approximately 1 p.m. is what the FBI says. That gives them plenty of time, if they're dropped off at 1, to do a lot of walking. And I really do think that might have been some sort of, if these girls were interested in geocaching, they're going to hit both spots. Just think about it. They're interested in geocaching. They're familiar with the geocaches. Why would they not hit both spots if they're right there? You know, they're going to hit both spots. And go back to Kelsey's words. Okay, go back to Kelsey's words that in the weeks prior, they were obsessed with geocaching. They were doing a lot of it. And even that very weekend or day, she kind of slips. Like if you go and listen, she kind of lets it slip. Okay, she kind of lets it slip. All right? Uh, you guys know what interview I'm talking about, right? In the Blue Moose, I believe it is. The Blue Moose. I'm just waiting to see if you guys know the interview I'm talking about. She kind of lets it slip that they were geocaching when the problem, like I'm believing they're geocaching right immediately upon this incident. Yeah, it's the thank you, thank you. Yes, it's the James Renner at the Blue Moose. She talks about the geocaching in the days prior, the weeks prior, and possibly that very day. Kind of slips out. Anyway, continuing.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Guys.
Hi.
Down the hill. Guys.
Hi.
Down the hill. Guys.
Hi.
Guys.
Hi.
Down the hill. Guys.
Thank you. Good call. Good call. Thank you. Thank you. I was saying this is all like a bad trip listening to this. It's not good for our mental health. You know, I don't like doing it. And so it's good not to do it too much, but it's necessary to do it a little. Um, and I think we've done enough. And like I said, it's just like looking at things from different angles. We're listening to things from different angles. The bottom line with all of it is it's all pretty much indistinguishable. Um, it doesn't give us any answers, really. It just gives us more questions. Um, I would say immediately, though, it makes the whole deal not make sense. You know, and this continues to uh, dissolve the state's timeline and theory of the crime, in my opinion. Um, so they tried to turn this into a very simple situation, which is that this guy randomly decides to abduct these two young girls. That they are scared, that's why they're filming. And that he has a gun, and that the girl says, see, this is the path, that be a gun. And then you hear a gun racking. And the thing is that, like, one thing this all teaches us is that none of that is true, right? None of it is true. It's the phrase that is said is absolutely clear. It's unambiguous, and it's absolutely certain. That's what is said is, see, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Not anything about a gun. There's no sound of gun racking. What I hear is consistent with twigs snapping and leaves and rocks crunching under the feet. So it's as if the whole concept of a gun was inserted into this footage, okay? So there's absolutely no doubt. There's nothing about a gun in this footage. It's inserted by law enforcement. And I said last night, I think it was because they were going to use this bullet to convict someone. Okay? So that's one thing. Secondly, the second level of questions this opens up for me is, it seems like there's more going on, like there's more to the story. These girls are not filming because they're stressed. They just happen to be filming. It also appears to me that there's at least one other girl. Which, how do you explain that? How do you explain that if you take this whole scenario as law enforcement has painted it? How do you explain the fact that there's another girl? You know, it's bad. It's really bad. But they've done so many things in the course of this prosecution of Richard Allen that have been just bewildering. Why any law enforcement would go to these lengths to accomplish their goal, by, like, basically they're operating under the mantra, any means necessary. By any means necessary, they were going to get a conviction on this guy. We all know it's been 7 years of lies. Listen, it cannot be denied that the family members have consistently told changing stories. which would indicate that they're not telling the truth about things. Because when the truth is told about things, the truth never changes. Therefore, the story never changes. So, why is the story been changing? And I brought to your attention tonight, or I'm sorry, last night, I brought to your attention the fact that, at least in my mind, we can clearly see sweatpants on whoever's filming. Okay, so the girl that's holding the camera is absolutely wearing sweatpants, or I don't know, like what do you call that material? Linen pants or something. Some kind of pants that blow in the wind, not blue jeans. Okay, she's not wearing blue jeans. So let's be real here. Let's be real here. Do I need to show it to you again? I mean, I showed it to you last night on the video. These pants are not at all blue jeans. They're not the jeans that are on Abby's head. So let's rephrase it. Okay, so I'm going to hit the reset button. I like to say things as clearly as possible, in my opinion, in my ability. There's absolutely no way on earth that the pants that are captured in the shadow on this video are the pants that are on Abby's dead body. Have I made that clear enough? Okay. So the pants that are on Abby's dead body, if you've seen the crime scene photos, you should be able to absolutely certainly say that those are not the pants that are captured in the shadow of the girl filming in this video. So there's an immediate problem. But remember, anyway, for 7 years, the story the family told was that those girls were, that girl was in sweats, right? And the only time that story changed was when the crime scene photos were leaked and everyone saw Abby's wearing jeans. Then Gray Hughes and Becky Patty, they changed the story to, well, I guess we were wrong. It doesn't matter. But I find it interesting because how does it not matter? The clothing that you described the girl as last being in, and that was on the bolo, and that was repeated for years and years and years about what that girl was wearing. Sweatpants from school. Crime scene photos leak. Abby's in jeans. Well, no, she wasn't wearing sweats. She was wearing jeans. Guess we were wrong. So, like I said, so many problems, more questions than answers. Which leads me into what I want to do tonight. Okay, so it took all of that. You're absolutely wrong. It's not Abby's shadow. It's not Abby's shadow. That's wrong. Okay. So I'm not going to block you from the channel yet, but I probably am getting pretty close to doing so. We've already dealt with it. Okay. The shadow is not a person. It's not Abby. Okay. Abby's coming from the other side. You're going to see, if you keep watching the video, you do see Abby's shadow come up. Right? So you have to actually watch the video and look at the shadows with critical thinking and observe when Abby's shadow does make its appearance. And I said last night that it's not Libby's shadow, okay? And it's not another girl's, because my first assumption was it's the girl whispering shadow. But it's not another human being shadow. It's pants flapping in the wind. It's sweatpants, okay? So I have anger issues with people coming in arguing with me. I'll just tell you this. Go ahead and go look at it yourself and try to understand that you're seeing the pants flapping in the wind. It's absolutely certain that it's sweatpants or something of the sort. It's not blue jeans that are flapping in the wind. So sorry, we don't agree on that, and we'll never agree. I know what I'm talking about. Yes, I think the size 26 are too large. There's something that's not making sense, right? Like here's my opinion. I've said my opinion so many times. I don't know why I constantly have to repeat it, but what I think is Abby is dressed in somebody's clothes to transport her dead body. Okay, you want to know what I really think? Abby's already dead somewhere else and nude somewhere else. So they put someone else's clothes on her, or at least pants. They put something on her to transport her dead body. But yeah, I'm getting a little angry now because I feel like you've come in to argue more than once. Uh, what's the agenda here? What's the agenda? Are you trying to preserve the family's narrative or something? Why are you coming in here to argue? Like, I'm telling you, that girl's wearing sweatpants, whoever's filming, whoever the girl is, whoever's shadow it is. It's kind of pissing me off because you come in and you fucking with me. And I already have an opinion, and you're not going to change it. And I started off assuming that that girl was wearing jeans like they want us to believe. All right. So I'm going to continue before I get triggered. All right. So, yo, can we please move on to the non-gaslight? It's Friday. Why in the hell do we want to argue on a Friday? Listen, Delphi case discussion. This is part 2 of the first 50 shows. Remember, guys, in a prior episode, we went through part 1 of these notes. All right? So we went through the part 1 at the end of a prior live stream. So we're going to go through this, part 2. And you may remember, or maybe you don't, that I took all 300 of my shows so far, and I put them all into AI processing. Then I asked the AI processing to please provide for me some things, like a list of bullet points, like a critical analysis, like a summary. So as we go through this document, what you're going to see is that this is the AI extracting from a portion of some of my prior content or previous content of some important points to highlight. Okay, so that's what this is. And so I thought, you know what? I've spent hundreds and thousands of hours away from my family, sitting here, going 3 hours at a time through these shows in order to explore every angle of the Delphi murders. So we may as well take a little time to review. You know, it's sort of like a look back over the shoulder here. Okay? Sort of like a look back over the shoulder. Uh, a retrospective of the first, whatever you want to call it. I guess this would be 100 shows because we already covered the first 50 in a prior episode. So this is the second installment. So I guess what it's showing us first is a list of bullet points, you see? Because I ask it, I say something like this: please provide an exhaustive list of bullet points covering these 50 episodes. So from 50 of the shows, it gives me these. It says the Delphi investigation is a high priority multi agency task force effort focused on identifying those responsible for the deaths of 2 girls. Law enforcement released audio and video footage from Libby's phone via an ISP website, urging the public to focus on the suspect's face, which we know was interpolated in total BS, voice, which also is pretty much indistinguishable, and walk, which we know is also inaccurate because it was missing 7 frames. And send in any tips. Superintendent Doug Carter, who's disgraced himself and ruined his entire career now that he's retired in shame and humiliation, stated that they had a witness and directly addressed the perpetrator. A Photoshop. Well, you know what's funny about that? He also stated there were no witnesses, just like he stated there were no vehicles and he doesn't have any information on the vehicle. But then he also stated that there were vehicles. And he also stated that the bridge guy was no longer a person of interest and that now it's the young bridge guy. And then he stated, no, both bridge guys are the same bridge guys, and you put them together and you put them between, and a sketch is not a photograph, photograph not a sketch, blah, 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 blah. Doug Carter is a walking contradiction and a drama queen and an actor. A Photoshop expert commented on case-related images without knowing it was a double murder. Their comments were made public by the prof, by the way. The FBI provided key data in the second Ron Logan warrant, authored by Nicole Robertson. The Ron Logan warrant is considered crucial, providing a time, place, and manner of death. The warrant indicated the victims were found dead with wounds caused by a redacted item now we know to be a bladed weapon. There's a belief that a bullet was not found when the girls were found, but later, possibly even the next day after the crime scene had been cleared or released. The investigation involves various strategies and pieces of evidence. There are claims of a cover-up and that the search was a cover-up. Sounds like it's been watching the Prof's channel. The search was the cover-up. There are multiple requests for evidence. There's a belief that the audio and video of the suspect are possibly altered. The case is reportedly being reviewed by the presidential administration. The Logan warrant indicates that the girl were at or near Logan's property at approximately 1 p.m. where they were dropped off. Again, that's a good highlight that my channel has focused on. The FBI warrant indicates that the girls were dropped off at or near Ron Logan's property at approximately 1 p.m. The timestamps and location stamps differ from the standard narrative. Interesting, isn't it? Let's continue to theories and speculations. Some believe the girls walked into a huge problem potentially related to a meth deal. There's speculation of a party starting on the 12th and continuing into the 13th. Some theorize the girls were intentionally placed at the crime scene to be found. Others believe the investigation was redirected due to a group of lying ass witnesses. Sounds like it's been listening to the Prof's channel. Oh, that's right. That's what we're doing. The shack is considered an important location in this case. Some think there was a cover up of the truth. There's a theory that people were placed at strategic locations in vehicles. Yes, the Andersons, Riley Park. There's a theory that people were placed. There we go. The photos of the girls are believed to be important to the investigation. The initial witnesses are believed to be lying ass witnesses. There was a conspiracy. The locations of High Bridge, Wilson Bridge, Andersons, and Riley Park are important to the investigation, according to the Prof. A bladed weapon may have been involved. A narrative of events is believed to stem from an individual and their close friends. It's thought that around 11 to 14 people were involved in the primary situation. The red Jeep is considered a dead issue. No, we now know it to be a car. There's a belief that there were vehicles with people in them at various locations, including the cemetery, the Wilson Bridge, the Andersons, the Riley Park, the CPS building, and the Mears lot. Yes, leads you to believe, what were all these people doing and what were all these vehicles doing? And how on earth do you have so many vehicles and they all suddenly either disappear or morph into Richard Allen's Ford Focus? The primary crime scene is believed to be closer to Wilson's Bridge. The girls are said to have been found in the creek or on its banks. The crime was potentially the result of a meth deal gone bad. There's possibly or a possibility that authorities might have been involved. There's a theory that the girls were moved after their deaths. There's a belief that the girls were harmed elsewhere and moved into the water, or I would say by ATV or horseback to where they were found. Some people have noted a possible connection between this case and the mythos of Delphi. And that's something that I have not explored on the channel as much as I have personally. But trust me, we'll be getting there. There's a whole deal that I think that this is an occult involved situation in which the mythos of Delphi ties in. The language used by officials is considered specific, strategic, and has two meanings, one for the perpetrators and another for public. Well, obviously, this is during my first 50 shows when I was actually a moron and thought that the police were doing a good job here on this case. I thought they were actually speaking in code to the killers. At this point, I believe the police have only covered up this crime. So some of this is in my very fledgling YouTube days to be ignored. There's a widespread feeling that law enforcement is not being entirely transparent, leading to confusion and distrust. There may be a connection between the case and the methamphetamine operation. The community reacted in various ways. Many feel misled by a family narrative and believe the public was being gaslit, with the truth now emerging. There have been reports of death threats and harm. Some believe a freak occurrence led to a tragedy, which was then complicated by a failure to immediately disclose the truth. The community seems to be divided. Yeah, no kidding. It's because there's a troll farm involved, a PR campaign, with some focusing on the official narrative. That's the PR campaign troll farmers, and others exploring alternative possibilities and theories. That's called the truth tellers. Some family members are displaying signs of deception, potentially hiding something or distancing themselves from something. Doug Carter stated, the vast majority of family members have been cleared, which means a small minority have not. He also stated, when asked about Richard Allen, a judge signed a probable cause affidavit for Richard Allen's arrest. Carter also stated, we haven't cleared anybody after the Richard Allen press conference. That's a key point that we often forget. We haven't cleared anybody. We haven't cleared anybody. We're going to keep looking. We're going to keep digging. We have the entire federal government, blah, 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 blah. Remember that? The FBI and federal agencies continue to be at our disposal, he said. The focus on the investigation is to provide justice for the victims. There was a discussion of a one-pot method for meth production in my channel. We talked about how the location of the crime scene is near a creek and near a flood zone of the creek. There was a estimate that was made that there was approximately $180,000 worth of methamphetamine involved in this operation at the Delphi Deer Creek area. There's an emphasis on the importance of analyzing all available information. Some believe the search was a cover-up. This comprehensive list of bullet points should provide a detailed overview of the key information discussed across all 50 sources, that mean the first 50 shows of the Prof's channel. The Delphi investigation, a high-priority case for a multi-agency task force, is centered on identifying those responsible for the deaths of 2 girls. Law enforcement released audio and video footage from Libby's phone via an ISP website, urging the public to focus on the suspect's face, voice, and walk. Superintendent Doug Carter publicly stated they had a witness and addressed the perpetrator directly. The community reacted in many ways, some placing teddy bears at the trails as a sign of respect, while others sought to understand the reality of the case versus the surrounding myths. Many feel misled by a family narrative, and many believe the public was being gaslit with the truth now emerging. The investigation uses various strategies and evidence. A Photoshop expert commented on case-related images without knowing it was a double murder, and their comments were made public. Anyhow, you'll see this is now a narrative summary of the bullet points we just went through. Feel free to screenshot if you need to do that. I don't think it's necessary. You'll see. This is the 2 angles that the AI will do. It'll do the bullet points. It'll do the narrative style. It's the same difference. Okay. Here's an interesting one that does not align. Listen how many lies law enforcement is told. Look at this one. There were 46,000 tips received. 46,000. Question for you. How many do they claim were received now? I don't know, what? A quarter of that? A fourth of that number they now acknowledge? What happened to all the tips? I believe it was closer to 75,000. I said before, were the tips used as a CYA scenario? were the tips used as a cover your ass hotline so that they knew what they had to go and bury? I don't know. Just food for thought. Anyway, it's going through a bunch of stuff as you see here. It's talking about some of my theory of the crime, that there's a shack involved, that there's a Wilson Bridge involved, that there's a problem with the timeline, and there may have been methamphetamine implications in the whole thing, that the whole search was a cover up. You know, I'm highly reliant upon Eric Williams. I'll be honest with you, Eric Williams and Carrie Timmons, and another source who I will not name, who all have relayed that there was a methamphetamine group out there on Deer Creek at the time that these girls came into being dead. Anyhow, it continues to go through it. You see, it says that the shack is a point of discussion, said to be a shelter from the weather. There's a discussion of areas near High Bridge, Wilson Bridge, Anderson's, and Riley Park. Also, Marathon gas station. Goes into FBI, Nicole Robertson. Again, into the methamphetamine and discussion here is brought up about Norfleet. You guys all remember Norfleet's arrest, Daniel Norfleet. Daniel Norfleet, whose computer was absolutely loaded with CSAM. Go read Daniel Norfleet's probable cause affidavit. Daniel Norfleet, I did a whole show on that. Just happened to be, go look at the location of his house. Okay, that's all I got to say. Look at Daniel Norfleet. Remember how I've speculated that the second user of the Anthony Shots profile could have been someone accessing Keegan Klein's Wi-Fi? I also believe that Daniel Norfleet could have been accessing someone else's Wi-Fi. But that's a whole conspiracy theory that we're not ready for tonight. Let's bring up number 3. Okay. Now, this will bring us closer in time. Check this out. Check this out. This is beyond my first 50 shows. It says the 136 pages, also known as the Frank's Memorandum, is a factually dense document that challenges the official narrative of Richard Allen acting alone. Wow, that's a great point this AI is making. The memorandum suggests the involvement of Odinists, Vinlanders, white supremacists, Aryan Nation, meth dealers, meth sellers. The document raises questions about concealed evidence, falsified witness testimony, and a lack of a thorough investigation. It's alleged that law enforcement misrepresented or concealed important evidence. The memorandum argues that the investigation was directed towards supporting a specific narrative rather than pursuing all viable leads. Remember, a letter sent to McClellan was not provided to the defense until after it was absolutely clear to Jerry Holman and Nick McClellan that the defense would be speaking with Todd Click. The memorandum of the Franks is dense with facts. Consider the most important document in the Delphi investigation. The defense is seeking a Franks hearing, which, of course, this judge, oh no, this was all obstruction. Remember, apparently I must have said that the Frank's memorandum is a gift that keeps on giving. Giving. Well, I've said some zingers on this channel. The 136 pages are said to be the most important thing that exists as far as the Delphi investigation goes, at least in the legal system. The memorandum is considered a very vital piece of information. Well, at this point, I call it the tip of an iceberg of which you don't want to know about. Okay? Said to contain so many clues. Okay, and it goes through a bunch of personalities. We're going to skip that. It's unimportant. Yeah, I don't know why it did that, but it decided it wanted to pull out all the names mentioned. Oh, this AI. This AI has a mind of its own sometimes, you see? It started pulling out all the fucking Chomo-meisters' names, you see? Anyway, let's keep on. Leaks of crime scene photos and other evidence is discussed. Some sources claim the leaks are intended to counter certain narratives, manipulate the public's perception. The murder shit is mentioned in relation to the photo leaks. There are calls for transparency, demanding to know email addresses, recipients, attachments, and the timeline of the leaks. One source states that the leaks include details beyond just photographs. It appears that there's a struggle for control over the narrative. A list of 57 names is called for in relation to those who had access to the leaks. It's suggested that a YouTuber with a large address list may be responsible for the email leaks. Rocky Cox. It stated that the anonymous email address should be revealed. Chomo-meister. There's a request for 7 files from leaked email to be shown. Oh, I got them now, baby. The request is made for the body of the leaked email to be revealed. I got that one now, too. So here's the bottom line with the leaks, right? The leaks were all performed by the troll farm. Now listen, y'all, I have not produced that show for you yet, but trust me, I haven't forgotten. That show is going to be a very important show because remember, there's a dead guy behind those leaks. And remember this too, the individual that was pointed at as being the nexus or the responsible party for those leaks, Mitchell Westerman, not only were his charges dropped right at the time of trial, but furthermore, his record was expunged. Think about it. The person who is alleged to be the number one person behind these leaks, his charges are dropped and then expunged. How convenient for the state of Indiana. Almost as if he was compelled by the state of Indiana to go and do that to the defense. I would suggest, hey, look, go sneak in there and sneak some photos and let's leak them. Let's cause a huge leak and get the attorneys thrown off. And don't worry, in a year or two, we'll drop the charges and expunge. You'll never serve any time. Online harassment in the troll farm. There are reference to a troll farm and coordinated harassment campaigns. These groups use fake accounts. Still to this day, they're doing the same, by the way. They alter images using AI and videos using AI, and they engage in doxing across all platforms. This harassment includes death threats, bullying, cyber stalking, real life stalking, harassment through the U.S. Postal Service, and attempts to interfere with people's personal lives and careers by calling family members and current and former employers. Some of these individuals are alleged to have targeted family members of those involved in the case, like the prof. The goal of these campaigns appears to be to silence critics and control the flow of information and to keep anyone from disagreeing or pointing towards the family as being shady. A Surrender Dorothy account is mentioned. Delphi dummies and vicarious vigilantes are mentioned, as well as Thomas Frost, Bossy, Karen White, Chris Long, Sleuth Intuition. The sources touch on the Baby Dior case, suggesting a cover-up on that case and misrepresentation of facts on that case and the guilt of parents on that case. The case is presented as an example of potential law enforcement misconduct. Some sources express the need for Baby Dior to be given a proper burial. That was in order to guilt his mother into telling the truth about what happened to him. There's a claim that Isaac is telling the truth. Yes, but he won't talk to Prof because he hung up in Prof's face the second time I called him. Social media plays a significant role in the discussion around the Delphi case. Social media is used to spread both information and disinformation, misinformation. Manipulation of images and videos, along with the use of fake accounts, is a concern. Discussions are contentious with people pitted against each other. Remember how they pitted me and Rick Snay against each other for no reason whatsoever. There's a mention of a Dropbox. There are requests to put receipts on the community page and a focus on facts over feelings. Sounds like another zinger that Prof dropped. Facts over feelings. I don't care if your feelings are hurt when I post facts. I mean, bitter pills are rather difficult to swallow. The use of Drano or similar products in the production of methamphetamine is mentioned. A stereogram solver is mentioned as a tool to uncover hidden images. The use of tampons to pad wounds is mentioned. There's an emphasis on using facts rather than rumors. Yes, that's why I always require receipts before I believe a thing you ever tell me. A Discord is where information about the case is shared and organized. Well, that's where it used to be until the troll farm decided they were going to use it to destroy my community. So I decided I was going to use it to destroy my community and then rebuild my community here on YouTube, where people can't do anything that is not public. I do everything out in the open, because then I don't have to worry about people being snakes behind the scenes. Where are we? There's a strong call for accountability for those who have spread misinformation and harassed others. An Odin report created by Kevin Murphy is mentioned. A Winters report, which deals with social media posts and includes an affidavit detailing a failed attempt to gain the interest of Carroll County law enforcement, is mentioned. The importance of noting whether law enforcement has cleared an individual is mentioned. It's suggested that Libby's phone was scrubbed before the murders. Oh, remember that? The scrubbing? Remember this? Remember the social media scrubbing? So Libby's phone is scrubbed in the week before the murders, and Libby's social media is scrubbed the day of or the day after the murders. You don't find that concerning at all, John Q. Public? There's a possibility that 2 cell phones were relevant in the Delphi case. Oh, wow. Were we like a year or 2 ahead our time or not? A witness named Sarah Carbo was said to have seen a man walking away from the bridge. Described the man as wearing a blue-colored jacket, which has been disputed. Yes, because we now know it was tan. We also know that he was not bloody but muddy. But you see how all these witnesses changed their story for the prosecutor? The official story is believed to have changed multiple times. The most crucial interviews were not recorded. No, they were recorded, but deleted. Oh my shits. Okay. There are multiple references to connections between Indiana and Kentucky. And hey, let me take a little moment here to say this. Now that the prof has another year and a half or two in, I would say Arizona and Florida. Oh, prof, what is it about Indiana, Kentucky, Arizona, Florida, and possibly even New York? Well, shit. Let me say this. Are you guys aware that the Vinlanders have a very hefty footprint in Arizona? Who would have thought it? Nothing to see here, though. We're just conspiracy theorists. Okay. There's a belief that Freemasons run law enforcement. There's a mention of code words such as penguin and mafia wars being messaged or integrated into messaging. Yes. And I would say this now, because remember, the prof is 2 years further ahead. There's also terms like curious, like cupcake, like teddy bear. What is it with these sexually charged terms in social media accounts? There's also an odd predilection to adopt horror character names like Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, and others. What is it about code words such as sweet pea, cupcake, curious, penguin, and horror characters? Yes, but no one wants to know those things. No one wants to look into that horrific reality. The significance of the date October 4th, 5th is mentioned as a major point in the timeline. There's a mention of a shack. There's a mention of a cabin and a shed. There's a reference to a Wilson Bridge. There are references to small balls and little Deaky. Oh, little Deaky, leaky, sleeky, sleeky, Deaky, leaky, small balls. This was a time during which we were fighting the small balls because of the Jinx 13, the Thomas Frost, and the Mark Robert Cohen. Yes, indeed, small balls told all. Let me tell you, little Deaky Leaky told all. He leaked. Little Deaky Leaky told all, guys. One day the trolls will realize what little Deaky Leaky told me about them, but they don't know yet. Okay? Because we haven't even talked about it. Little Deaky Leaky told all. See, Rick Snay, he's a good guy at heart. He told all. He threw you guys under the bus. Anyway, continue. Like I said, these are notes from a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's going to reference small balls and little Diggy. Oh my gosh. There's a mention of steel sharpens steel. Okay. There's a reference to gravity waves and galactic waves. What sounds like prof? I don't know what the hell I was going on about, but somehow we got into gravity waves and galactic waves. Hey, if you go back and watch the channel 2 years ago, uh, you might see some funny shit. I don't know. Apparently, I was talking about gravity waves at a certain point. Um, but galactic waves and gravity waves. You know who's absolutely an absolute genius on that? Who has passed away? Um, no, never mind. I'll leave it alone. I'm not going to urge you to go and research science right now. And I also don't want to be. I don't want this. I don't want the trolls are going to go interfere in that community. But little do they know that I'm working on a huge project with physicists, and these physicists are anyway. Yes, galactic waves, gravity waves, important concepts here. Let's see in the real world, but we'll skip that for now. There's a mention of an alleged private plane. Yes, that one that goes from Indiana to Florida, but we won't talk about that now. There's a mention of the Yellow app. Okay. There's a claim that the state has a plan to remove the 136 pages from consideration. These points highlight the vast amount of information, speculation, and accusations presented in the 50 live streams that are the sources for this particular document. There's a detailed narrative summary below. And I'll skip this one once again. You see how it goes in a narrative style over the same points. You see? You're welcome to screenshot it, or if you want, I'll even email it to you if you email me. Okay. There's a concern about the leaking of crime scene photos and other evidence, with some suggesting that the leaks were intentionally designed to counter certain narratives. Some of the individuals mentioned as being involved in the leaking of information include Westerman and a person or persons known as the Murder Shit and Mark Robert Cohen. One source claims that the leaks were not just photos, but also include details of the crime scene and other evidence. There's a call for transparency regarding the leaks. One individual, Skip, is identified as a first-hand witness to some of the events around the leaks. Several sources refer to a troll farm, and it goes on and on. You see how it is. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to the last one for the night. And let me get something to drink before we continue. The Delphi Murders Addendum. Here's an exhaustive list of bullet points summarizing the information provided from the next 50 sources that I gave it. I was feeding it 50 live streams. So let me explain this for you. I think you guys will appreciate it who don't already understand. So basically what I was doing is I'm feeding this AI batches of 50 live streams at a time. Now remember, every live stream is 3 hours. So 3 times 50. 3-hour live streams, 50 3-hour live streams fed in, and this is what's the resulting document from that, from the AI. So that's what we've been going through, just so you know what we're looking at. It's a lot of information distilled down into 5 pages, I would say. Let's see. The Delphi murders case involves a complex investigation of multiple agencies. The FBI was heavily relied upon due to the large number of tips and data. Over 150 people with the ISP have been involved in some way. Detectives from all 14 ISP posts around Indiana have worked on the case. Wow. That's interesting, considering now that your primary movers and shakers are Jerry Holman, Brian Harshman, David Vito, Steve Mullen. Kind of odd that you had 150 people from ISP with detectives from all 14 ISP posts, yet we only had a handful in this trial against Richard Allen. Interesting. The case has also involved a lot of other agencies. There's a concern that the answers to the Delphi murders would expose a network of human traffickers, sex traffickers, pedophiles, killers, bikers, and meth dealers in the Carroll County area with connections across the country. Wow, let's reread that. Let's reread that. This is interesting. There's a concern that the answers to the Delphi murders would expose a network of human traffickers, sex traffickers, pedophiles, killers, bikers, and meth dealers in Carroll County and across the country. Hmm. Yes, yes, Miss K. 150 hours in 5 pages. It's a good number of bullet points. I mean, if you think you all are getting the bullet points from 150 hours per page or per document here. So what is that already? That's 300, 450. So already tonight we're going to go through 450 hours. It's a good distillation. Okay. Let's continue. The investigation has been criticized for a lack of transparency, withholding information, deleting crucial data, and providing inconsistent statements. The investigation is marked by mishandling of evidence, including failing to test DNA, delaying digitization of evidence, and the loss or destruction of crucial information. There have been conflicting statements and inconsistencies made by investigators, family, and officials throughout the case. A major allegation is that of a cover up, where law enforcement has intentionally concealed evidence, misled the public, and possibly obstructed justice. There are questions about whether law enforcement properly investigated Tyler Carpenter regarding the leaking of crime scene photos. There are several compelling theories surrounding the murders involving local individuals, a potential cover up, and illicit activities. One theory suggests the Kokomo crew, a local group connected to methamphetamine operation near the trails, may be involved. Some suggest the girls may have stumbled upon a meth lab leading to their abduction and murder. Well, either before, during, or after. Who knows? There are claims that some witnesses gave false statements, and I stand by that to this day. There's a claim that some witnesses gave false statements, and police have not properly investigated all witnesses. Absolutely. Absolutely. Police don't want to investigate all the witnesses because police are looking for a certain answer, or were looking for a certain answer, and they got the answer they wanted because they operated in an effort to establish tunnel vision in the jury. So this entire thing with law enforcement only led to one conclusion, and that conclusion was Richard Allen. The timeline of events, including the girls' arrival, when they were seen, and when they were found, are all disputed. Richard Allen, arrested in connection with the murders, is described as looking terrified and broken in a photo. There are concerns that statements he made were compelled, especially those expressing concern for his family. Oh yeah, I see what it's trying to understand how we were talking about his statements in Westville and the threats he was receiving in Westville. So it's not understanding. You see, it's not a human, it's AI. It's not understanding how confessions were compelled due to threats being made against his family. It's been stated that Richard Allen is not the only person involved in the crime. The defense has given receipts, such as a 136-page Frank's memorandum And an 86-page Todd Click report. I don't know if it's 86 pages. Not sure. Jerry Holman is described as a liar and a maniac who helped cover up the murders. Oh, rich. Rich. It stated that Holman did not investigate Tyler Carpenter, who was allegedly involved in leaking crime scene photos. Holman is said to have gaslighted the American people and the world. Doug Carter, in charge of press relations, may need to be subpoenaed to explain certain documents. Ooh, that's rich. Did I ever say that? Carter has been described as being vague about DNA evidence found at the crime scene. This is only damning because 150 hours were damning. Okay? Kevin Murphy, a retired ISP detective, along with two other officers, Greg Ferenczi and Todd Click, wrote a report summarizing a theory that the father and his Odinist associates should be investigated. The report was met with hostility by Holman. Todd Click, along with Murphy and Ferenczi, conducted their own investigation into the Odinist angle. It was stated that Click, Ferenczi, and Murphy's pursuit of the truth is what citizens should expect from law enforcement. It was also stated that Todd Click paid a price for seeking advice about information that did not make sense to him. There's a concern that Unified Command had concluded early on that Odinists were not involved. Greg Ferenczi, another officer who worked with Murphy and Click, was assassinated in front of the FBI office by Odinist Shane Meehan, who has now been gifted the mental incompetency status by the Indiana court system, probably similar to what was gifted to Mitchell Westerman. There's a concern that all of this had to do with the Odin report, but the troll farm is trying to discredit that Odin report. Jeffrey Turco is described as the mystery Purdue professor who dismissed the links between Odinism and the murders, but we now know that he did not dismiss the links. He confirmed the links between the Odinism and the murders, or Norse paganism, or Germanic runic formations. Kelsey German is scrutinized for never having a story that makes sense, as well as for having 8 different versions of her story. There's also scrutiny surrounding Cody Patty. There's also questions about Betsy Blair and Sarah Carbo being pressured by the police to assist with sketches that they did not want to assist with. There's also concerns about Rayleigh Voorhees, who was also pressured about sketches. Oh, don't you see a consistent theme here with law enforcement pressuring all these girls to produce for them? There are also claims about cell phones moving in and around Deer Creek and the Ron Logan area, possibly traversing the crime scene. Yes, that's the Brown family. More to come on that in the future. Libby's phone had been pinging around town, according to Mike Patty. The phone was powered off for a period of time, it seems, and turned back on at 4:33 a.m. It's also been stated there was evidence that Libby's phone left the scene and later returned. There's concern that the girl's phone stopped pinging and started pinging again. The phone was not turned on when police received it, and the battery was not charged. It was necessary to charge the phone in order to process it. It has been revealed that the investigators were given the passcode to the phone. Ew! You know what else we know? That Kelsey had the iCloud password for Libby at a minimum. Who timed I Have Apophis out? Someone tell me. Am I going to have to deal with a mutiny among the ranks that hold wrenches? Because I'll pull a Discord on your asses. I'll take every single wrench that exists. We're just trying to get through these documents. Do we need a mutiny? Amy, can you keep an eye on that for me? All right. Oh, I'm trying to get through this, guys. We're almost there. There's also scrutiny about the geofencing warrant. Well, oh, I love it when people say I don't know anything and then I'm years behind. I love it when people say that. Sure, Prof is years behind. I don't know anything about the geofencing whatsoever at all. It's been stated that 3 phones were at the location at the time of the murders. The owners of the phone have no connection to Richard Allen. But they are local business owners. There's also questions about the results of a phone dump. From 2023, there's concern that information was deleted from the phones. Oh, that's rich. It's stated that police spent over $20,000 on genetic genealogy. No way. Okay, it goes into the sketches. I'll skip all that. There are also issues surrounding the clothing that one of the girls was wearing when she was found. Ooh, and this brings us back to today. This brings us back to today. You see, because a year ago we were questioning the phone. I mean, the clothing that was on the girls. And now we know that the shadow reveals that Libby is not wearing jeans. Oh, I see. Well, maybe you made a mistake because let me be honest with you. I have this filtering set to strict on the channel because of the trolls, because they loved coming in and doxing me in front of my viewers or mentioning my children's names. So I set my filtering to strict. So oftentimes things don't show up in the live chat because of something you've said. So could be as simple as that, hopefully. All right, let's continue. Strict filtering on the channel, unfortunately, they've caused us to have to do a lot of things. Okay. And like I said, hey, I hate to how would I say it? I hate to project future occurrences. But let me just say, you guys, you've heard me ramble on for 2 years about an organized, concerted, trolling effort to stalk, harass, dox, terrorize, run off, protect the family, and all other things that I've claimed for 2 years. And I've shown you some of it, but you guys don't understand the gift that I was just given. You're going to see proof like you've never seen before. Okay. Beyond little Frankie admitting that he was paid to terrorize us. Okay, beyond that, you all remember that live stream, right? Beyond those receipts, we've got more receipts. So I can literally prove, I already have to law enforcement, and I will to you all, that we have a group who intends to terrorize us off the case as their stated goal, affectionately known as the troll farm. Let's see, where are we? The state requested to limit evidence regarding several matters. There's efforts to limit the defense from commenting about counsel or the evidence. They also want to limit the defense's ability to question potential jurors about their feelings about the credibility of certain anticipated witnesses. It's also been stated that the jury is supposed to be ignorant of meth dealing, abuse, sex abuse, pornography, sex trafficking, odonism, and cult activities. The defense was not able to discuss the sketches. You see, they kept the jury completely ignorant. This is why it was important to have total control over the judge, so she could have total control over what the jury was allowed to be exposed to. This is why it was horrible that the limitate was issued, which proves collusion between McClellan and Gull. There was an absolute. It was a green light to anything he wanted, including not mentioning people who had confessed to the murders. And there are more, by the way. There's more than Ron Logan. There's more than Keegan Kline. There are multiple confessions to this murder. Let's continue. Where are we? There's also concern over the influence of a troll farm that aims to discredit or mislead those attempting to find answers about the case. The troll farm has been accused of harassment, doxing, stalking, and intimidation. Troll farm has weaponized the copyright strike system. Yes, indeed. It has also been stated that many of the people covering Delphi on YouTube are controlled. Some claim that certain YouTubers and podcasters are colluding with law enforcement and attempting to sway the public narrative or contaminate the jury pool. Absolute fact. There's been an attempt to suppress criticism of the investigation in law enforcement. There's a concern that the tip line was used to squash witnesses. There are also allegations the state is saving evidence for the appeal. It was stated that anyone who wanted to interview the family had to go through law enforcement. Oof. I'll tell you, some of these are amazing. Seems like Prof was kind of on target a year or two ago. There are also missing chain of custody documents related to sticks, branches, and bark. The state of Indiana previously provided the defense a number of PowerPoint presentations which were titled executive briefs or summaries, which appear to be presentations providing law enforcement information during briefings. That was also limited, by the way. The defense has not been able to locate any reports from the Behavioral Analysis Unit of the FBI, oddly enough. Oh, man. All of this has been a nightmare. Let me just reiterate for you, because I love you guys so much. And look, sometimes we need to trauma bond. Sometimes we need to hug each other over the airwaves. This has been an absolute nightmare. This has all been an absolute nightmare. And whoever would deny that is absolutely being ingenuine or ungenuine, not genuine. This has been a nightmare. This entire thing has been a nightmare. And I've just been so disturbed on why would the families go along with this? Why would the families go along? Why would the families go along with this nightmare? I'll never understand it. I never will. There's a rumor that someone wanted to make a horror film at the location of the murders, a snuff film, or recorded dead bodies. The state is accused of obstructing justice. There's concerns about the state's handling of discovery. It's accused of handing over discovery late and in a way that was scrambled and disorganized and made it difficult for the defense to find what they needed. And it was also forbid that the defense mentioned that to the jury. Remember that. There are many questions about why the state is trying to limit discussion about key aspects of this case. The sources strongly suggest that the official narrative is incomplete and potentially misleading. It's suggested that the conviction of Richard Allen may be unjust. There's a strong emphasis on this channel in questioning everything, trusting no one, and being skeptical of the official narrative. There's a strong call for the truth about the Delphi murders to be revealed. There's a desire for accountability for law enforcement, the prosecutor's office, and the judge's office. There are multiple claims of cover-up and corruption and mistrust of law enforcement. Many of the sources, which are the live streams, mention a sense that the truth is widely known within this community, but it's not being officially acknowledged. That bears repeating. Many of the sources, which mean our previous live streams, mention a sense that the truth is widely known in this community, but that it's not being officially acknowledged. This is why I've consistently pointed at the Delphi community and said, you know. Why won't you speak? What kind of community cannibalizes its own daughters? There's a concern about 70 days of interviews being deleted. There's a concern over expungements of information and the destruction of court records. Another issue that plagues the state of Indiana and the Carroll County court system. The unmentionables, according to the prof, include Derek German, Cody Patty, and The Shack. And that comes directly from a journalist covering the Delphi murders, who said that upon discussion with Mike and Becky Patty, there were 3 unmentionables in the documentary they were filming. And those 3 unmentionables were Derek German, Cody Patty, and The Shack. Can't talk about that. You remember back in the day, I called that the Shack attack. There's also prohibited speech, including Odinism, cult, ritualistic killing, the family, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Ned Smith, Rod Abrams, Kagan Klein, Tony Klein, and Ron Logan. None of those the jury were allowed to be exposed to. Now, this is going to be a real killer. This is going to make you want to slam your phone into the wall, because it nearly did me. The defense anticipates, remember, must have been from a live stream before trial. The defense anticipated that its trial presentation would include somewhere between 12 to 24 witnesses. Throw the phone at the wall. What the fuck happened? Why'd you rest early? There's a significant discussion regarding the importance of cell tower data and its potential misuse. For those of you interested in that, I highly recommend go watch my previous live stream titled The Three Phones. In the live stream called The Three Phones, I thoroughly discussed the FBI CAST system, and we did so by reading through the FBI field guide on the CAST system and how that all works. You would very quickly learn that there are problems here in the misuse by Nicholas McClellan of the accuracy or misrelaying the accuracy of the cell data. But we'll leave that for another time. Like I said, it's on the live stream entitled The Three Phones, which you can find in my channel. Unknown male DNA was found on one of the victims. On both of the victims. But there's a lot on Libby. There's a sense of a collective understanding but powerlessness to change the outcome. A recurring theme is the involvement of a local group, often referred to as the Kokomo Crew, in connection with the meth operation. Tyler Joe French, Megan Allen, Gabe Ellis, Garrett Kurtz, Eric Williams are named as potential members in Cheyenne. The 2-pounder was a package of printed screenshots mailed to the Attorney General as proof of collusion. Sweet Dude Shippy. Sweet Dude Shippy is pretty fond of my 2-pounder. There it is. The 2-pounder. 1.7 pounds to be exact. The missing interviews from the first 70 days of the investigation are a concern. There's a concern over expungements and the potential future expungements and dropping of charges against Shane Meehan. There's a concern that certain individuals are being portrayed as heroes to the dark-hearted because they are believed to have killed the two. What the? Brian Harshman made an assertion that there were over 60 confessions, but only 2 confessions were used in the courtroom. And I believe there to be approximately 4 to 5. So how was Brian Harshman allowed to transform 4 or 5 confessions in the height of an episode of psychosis into 60 plus confessions according to his own psychic abilities, according to his opinion, or willy-nilly assuming that there were statements that were confessions? All right. That be the bullshit. The defense is pushing for raw video from channels being monitored for harassment. Oh, and they got it, baby. Let me tell you, They got it. Oh, how did it feel? Let me ask you this, you guys. How did it feel to have law enforcement visit your doors for fucking around with this case? Just curious. All right, moving on. A letter was written to the court about doxing and harassment, but it's unknown who wrote it. Mark Roberts is said to have provided crime scene photos. Becky Patty is said to like Ashley Schaefer and Delphi dummies. Lieutenant Brian Bunner, a digital forensic expert, testified about his role in examining information captured from Liberty's phone. He testified the phone was not turned on when he received it, and he had to charge it to process it. Investigators were given the passcode to the phone. There's a discrepancy between the SMS messages and IMs. A witness named Kathy Shank testified that she disorganized, and evaluated 14,000 tips regarding the Delphi murders. Well, what happened to the other, 60,000? That's interesting. The tips filled 5 filing cabinets. Remember, her filing cabinets. Took 2 years to digitize them. Prosecution tried to brainwash the jury about a gun. And it's saying that the bullet matches bullets from Richard Allen's guns, although it doesn't acknowledge that there's a difference between fired cartridges and unspent rounds. The jury asked 16 questions regarding Christopher Cecil's testimony. Wow, I didn't know that. I forgot that. Wow. Is that true? The prosecution requested the court prevent the defense from presenting evidence about Tony and Keegan Klein. The prosecution requested the court prevent evidence of Ron Logan. The prosecution requested the court prevent the defense from presenting evidence from Todd Click. Dr. Perlmutter previously had almost exclusively worked for law enforcement and prosecutors and the FBI, not the defense. But of course, she's not credible. And there are assertions that multiple phones moving around the Deer Creek and Ron Logan area are possibly traversing the crime scene. Oh, yes, indeed. Anyway, you'll see that, okay? Now, there's a few more here. Location and scene. The area near Wilson Bridge is mentioned as being near the crime scene. The victims were found near a hut, and there are conflicting accounts of where exactly. There are claims of deleted and lost interview recordings. The chain of custody for the bullet found at the scene is questioned. Chain of custody documents for sticks and branches at the scene are also missing. PowerPoint presentations connecting Elvis Fields to Delphi were part of discovery, but now missing. The state provided approximately 20 to 25 hard drives and several flash drives, and there were issues with items being removed from discovery. Remember we talked about that, how when the defense was off the case temporarily, and when they came back on, that suddenly the discovery was all switched around and changed around. They couldn't find things that had been there previously, et cetera, et cetera. And there's the whole Brandon Woodhouse. Yeah. Oddly enough, Brandon Woodhouse. How many of you looked into Brandon Woodhouse? Why is everyone questionable in this situation? Everyone. Everyone's tied to either law enforcement, the victims, the Vinlanders, the Odinists. Why? What's going on here? Anyway, it goes through the individuals again, kind of like they did previously. It names a bunch of guys, including Richard Allen, Jerry Holman, Tony Liggett, Nick McLean, Todd Click, Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, Doug Carter, Kelsey, Becky Patty, Ron Logan, Elvis Fields, Tony Keegan Klein, Steve Mullen. Warren Asher's bike was named Loki. That's your Ted Bear, right? Teddy Bear. Leaks and dissemination. Crime scene photos and other sensitive information have been leaked. There's a belief law enforcement did not properly investigate the leaks. Instead, focused on attacking the defense team. YouTubers and podcasters are believed to have disseminated the leaked information. Fake Bodette had a copy of the unsealed PCA a week before anyone else did and was in regular communication with Jody Williams. Remember, his source was someone who works for the judge. Remember that? Who thought Richard Allen was absolutely guilty, hopes he stays in Westville because that's where he belongs. She's seen all the documents and she knows it to be true. Remember all that? I've shown you the screenshots. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. There are claims of possible Odinist or ritualistic involvement in the murders. Tattoos associated with Odinism were found on the body of one of the guys in furs. Oh, that means one of the guys at the January 6th. The arrangement of sticks at the crime scene is considered by some to be part of a ritual. Yes, they're bind runes, clearly. The defense has filed multiple motions, including motions to dismiss, motion for sanctions, and motions to compel discovery. The defense was seeking a Frank's hearing. The defense argued the state had not provided all relevant information and requested mental health. The state requested mental health records for Todd Click, of course. And remember, they attacked Todd Click and had him arrested. Other allegations and theories. There are allegations of cyber stalking, threats, harassment against individuals involved in this case. Some believe the murders are linked to a larger network involved in drug and human trafficking. Yes, got me. The case involves a complex web of connections, including the mention of Flora House, meth production, and alleged satanic occult involvement. There were multiple people at the crime scene at the time of the murders. I'll skip ahead a bunch of this. I think I'm done with all this. You see what it is. But if you've been here for all this time, just a moment, please. All right, I've had about enough reading. That was enough for tonight. So you'll see that AI doesn't get it all right. It sometimes confuses little things a little bit, but it's trying to use the audio of me speaking for 400 hours or more to try to produce a 5-page document. So you got to give it kudos. Oh yeah. So that's been a lot. So we might have just covered, I don't know, like, 1,000 hours or more of some of the talking we've done here. We've done a lot of talking. And listen, I've said so many times, it's never my intention to talk. I was never a good public speaker, to be honest with you, because I was always a quiet person because I did music. So I didn't have to speak a lot. But I guarantee you, in the past 2 years, I've done a lot of speaking. Okay. And I was talking to a friend the other day. He's like, You're pretty good at that. I'm like, well, no, it's just happened. Okay, it's like anything. You do a lot of it. You guys know the 10,000 hour rule. You do it enough, and you get better at it at a minimum. Hey, thank you, Swade Smith. I just saw that. I'm not really looking at the chat, but I just saw that Swade Smith sent a super chat. Let me see if I can find that. I don't mean to ignore you guys. I apologize. I was doing a lot of reading there. Thank you, Swade Smith. And also to the ladies who may or may not have sent me donations in the Buy Me a Coffee and Cash App or whatever over the past couple days. Thank you so much for anyone who's supported the channel. I do appreciate it. Um, but no, it's been a lot of hours, and we've really learned nothing, right? All we've learned. So I guess let's look at it in reverse. After all of this time, years of this, what have we learned about the crime? Nothing. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? They have done such a good job covering this up. We've never learned another thing about this crime. But what have we learned? We've learned a whole lot about the corruption, collusion, and cover up on the part of law enforcement and in the court system in Indiana in regards to Delphi murders. I'm telling you, like one thing we've absolutely seen very clearly has been the atrocious, uh, just outright obvious lies, deception, manipulation, railroading. Um, yeah, and Sweet Dushibi, so he's saying it in the most absolutely. This is the most concrete example for any of you who are doubters. If you've been brainwashed by the propaganda, by the troll farm, by the podcasters, let me just tell you that. Let me just tell you that if you've been brainwashed, what should really open the door for you and be the key that turns the lock to open your mind should be this term, that be a gun. Okay. You should let this phrase, that be a gun, turn the key, unlock that mental block you have from the programming. Open your mind and understand that you can clearly hear for yourself on that recording what is said and what is not said. And there's absolutely no way on earth that that girl said, "See, this is the path that we go down." That'd be a gun. Why? Because it's certain if you'd listen with your own two ears, you'd very clearly hear that she says, "See, this is the path that we go down." And then either her or another girl says, "That we go down. See, this is the path that we go down." So, how was the sheriff? Think about it for all of you out there who have never really thought about it in these ways. Think about this. Think about that you're sitting on a jury. I mean, you've all listen. You guys have all been a student, certainly, right? In school. So you know the principal, same deal, right? You're in the jury. Here's the sheriff. The sheriff sits his ass on that witness stand and to a jury says, I hear that be a gun. And listen, you can care as much as you want about Abby and Libby. You can care much as you want about the Patties. You can hate Bridge Guy as much as you want if you believe Bridge Guy was involved. But let's be clear here. Do you honestly believe that you could go along with the phrase that be a gun when it's very clearly obvious that those girls do not say that be a gun? I mean, let's listen to it again. I'll play it for you right now. I give zero shit because we're not lying to you. They are lying to you. That sheriff lied to that jury, and these people who have been talking to you on YouTube or social media or writing articles, whatever it may be, they have all lied to you. Remember, I said for 7 years there's been a PR campaign to lie to you on behalf of the state of Indiana. Let's hear what's said. Let's not fool anyone.
See, this is the path that we go down.
Is anyone not clear on that? See, this is the path that we go down. And to anyone who doesn't believe it, go listen for yourself. Put in the little earbuds, put on the headphones, turn it on your stereo speakers as loud as humanly possible if that's what you need to do. And keep in mind, what they had to do to this guy was force him into the worst prison in Indiana, threaten him and his family's lives with murder, wait enough time for him to deteriorate, and then forcibly medicate him, and then have an absolute maniacal Delphi fangirl go in and talk to him in order to get what they are calling confessions. And what they did is they went out on the Murder Sheet podcast, on all the YouTube channels, and in all the Carroll County Comment articles, and they said, Richard Allen's the killer. He confessed. He's guilty. They say that be a gun. He owns the gun. Well, you can hear a gun racking. You see why I have a problem with that? Because it's just not based in fact. It's not truthful. It's not even close to truthful. It's not mistakenly false. You get what I'm saying? It's not mistake. It's not a mistake that it's false. It's intentionally falsified. And that's why I have a problem with it. Since when is the sheriff and the prosecutor and the judge supposed to present to a jury facts that are knowingly false, that they know to be false, that anyone with a reasonable intelligence would know is absolutely not true, which that's supposed to be their mandate, is truth, justice. And even now, they're withholding information from the public so that the public doesn't see it. How is that okay? When this trial was in October, it's March 28th, March 29th right now. This trial was in October. And the only reason we're able to review this stuff that we've been doing tonight is because someone leaked it. Remember, this judge has not yet released this. Right? The judge didn't release this. You know what I want to see? I want to see the videos of Richard Allen in Westville. I want to see every single exhibit from this trial. It's bad enough that some of it has been placed under seal. Bad enough. Now listen, question is, anyone going to jail for this? When this has been done so blatantly out in the open, is anyone going to jail for this? And wait until you learn what has been omitted, what never even made it into trial. You're going to lose your minds. Anyway, wow, tonight was a nice show. It's a Friday night stream, right? Friday night live stream. And unfortunately, because of this subject, I had this discussion the other day with a friend. It's just, this is the most heavy topic that we could possibly be discussing. Remember, the murder of children, killers still out there. Do you think this is a fucking game? Like, this is not a lighthearted topic. This is a heavy topic. We're discussing the worst and the most scary because people are still out there who have something to lose. So it can never be as relaxed and nice as we'd like our time together to be. But hopefully someday it will be because we can move past this. But remember, we still got someone in prison based upon a railroading by Carroll County and Allen County. We still got 2 victims who have not seen justice for their murders. We've still got an entire community who has cannibalized 2 of their own children, and they're burying the truth about those murders. We've got an entire contingent of people operating on the internet to cover up these crimes by terrorizing all of us. And trust me, they're going to go after you. That's next. It's already been announced. Mm-hmm. But this is nuts. It's nuts that we have to do this. Like, do you think, I've told my friends so many times, I never intended to do this. And I still don't intend to do it. Honestly, I would love tonight to be the last time. I wish tonight would not have happened. Like that's the thing is I never intended to do this, never wanted to do it, still don't want to do it. But I feel somewhat obligated to keep showing up for now. But man, so this has been our Friday night live stream for Delphi. And like I said, please, if you are interested in the audio review of this information, the audio files, if you're an audiophile seeking the audio files, go into my channel. I'll tell you where to look. As you go to the prof. And by the way, I have two channels. So if you happen to be here on the main channel, please go subscribe to that backup channel. I love to up the subscribers there in case anything ever happens in the main channel. I'd love to have all my subscribers on the main channel over on the backup channel, but I only have half as many on that backup channel. So if you're on the backup channel, which is called the Prof True Crime, please go and see the Prof. So either way, please subscribe to both channels. I'd love to equalize the numbers on both channels. That'd be nice. Um, but on the channel, I have a playlist. The very first playlist is entitled Delphi Bridge Guy Video Audio Deep Dive. There I have the raw files for you so that you can go and put on your headphones and listen to that. And then in the video section that says videos, they're just freely there for your exploration. And the sound quality is going to be better than on it comes across on the live stream. Also, a nice announcement that I'm really grateful to be able to make is right now we are at we're just 40 subscribers away from 5,000 subs on the main channel. So if you're on the main channel, please hit subscribe. We're only 40 subs away from 5,000. So I'm hoping that the very next live stream will be our 5,000 subscriber celebration on the main channel. So we're almost to 5,000. We're just a handful away, okay? A couple handfuls away from 5,000. So please do subscribe to both channels. And if you're not subscribed, help me get to that 5,000 because whoever thought we'd be at 5,000, but we are at 5,000. The way you know that is because if you go and look at the live streams, it's so funny because we'll do a live stream and there's 3.4 thousand views, 4,000 views, 3.5 thousand views, 4.5 thousand views, 5.6 thousand views. So it's almost as if every single subscriber is pretty much watching every live stream. And these are extremely long live streams. So we're doing very well with the terms of percentages here. So I know that there's channels with I don't know 10,000, 15,000 subs who don't even get 2,000 views. So we always get 3 to 5,000 views on videos. So I so appreciate that from all of you who do watch, and just please hit the subscribe. I love getting to these benchmarks, and so I remember the day that 500 subs was a benchmark I was trying to reach. And I hit that 500 subs, and I was so happy. And then I remember getting 1,000, and I was so happy. I remember getting to 2,500. I was so happy. And so it's been great to reach these benchmarks. And so now we're just days away from 5,000 subs. So I do appreciate you, appreciate all of you for being here. Let me say this: if you'd like to support the channel, we have Cash App and Buy Me a Coffee are in the About Me section of the YouTube channel. So if you ever want to support the channel through pathways like that, there's Buy Me a Coffee and Cash App. If you'd like, you can always super chat, super thanks. There's that. There's also for your benefit, because there's just a pittance that I receive, but there are there are T-shirts, hoodies, hats. There's also photography and coffee cups, and so there's all kind of stuff to support the channel in any way you like. Some people prefer to get clothing, some people prefer to get art, some people prefer to send cash apps. Whatever, it's up to you. I'm just letting you know that the support pathways are all there. I made sure over the past 2 years to produce all of these support pathways so that you're able to support if you so care. But I don't ever beg you, and I don't ever want you to go out of your way to support, because trust me, just by leaving comments down below or joining the live chat or hitting the like or just even just watching, whatever you do is supporting the channel. I mean, I'm not in this to be supported. Uh, I'm just in this to finish the task, because I hope there's the day when I don't have to do Delphi anymore. Anyway, that's my whole spiel for you guys out there in the real world. And everyone on the replay, please do leave comments below. I've been so impressed by the comments that came in the past 24 hours for yesterday's live stream on the audio. It's the reason I do this, so that we can all communicate with each other. Because, like I said, I think what we're doing is we're crowdsourcing intelligence on this case. We're sharing ideas. I get emails every day, and trust me, if you're one of the ones who've emailed me, I love the emails. Don't think that if I don't respond right away to your email, it means I'm not reading it, because every single email I read, most of them that come in that are badass, like the one Jake Brooks sent me. By the way, Jake Brooks just sent me a badass email. I'm working on it. Nobody, nothing just sent me a badass email. I'm working on it. I'm working on the emails that I get. Even if you don't see me responding right in a quick fashion, or if you don't see me talking about it, trust me, when you send me stuff, I love it. And when you leave comments, I read the comments, and I love all the comments, because it's a great conversation in the comment section under all the videos. So we are done with all that discussion. I just wanted to see you and to let you know all that, and I wanted you to see that from me. Okay. Well, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'm done. That must have been it. All right, that must have been it. So we're done. I hope everyone appreciated the little time we got to spend together tonight. Um, it's a wonderful Friday night. Tomorrow will be a wonderful Saturday, and then we'll have Sunday. So we're on to the weekend. So good for us, right? Anyway, I'm watching the chat right now. I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Oh, yeah, Jake Brooks is here. What up, Jake? Yeah, I see everybody. Okay. Great to see everybody. Now the weekend. Yeah, exactly. All right, who's your daddy? Let me say hello. Okay, we'll do this. We'll do this. Jake Brooks, Tinker Bell, Wolf Eyes, Mandy, Sweet Dude Shibby, Hooser, Spike Dog, Indy Cindy, Rebecca Ann, Dave Bird, Dirty Diana, Scott Perkins, Amy, Miss K, Wolf Eyes, Indy Cindy, Dirty Diana, Aaron Town, Jim Chrisman. What up, Jim Chrisman? Sandra Rowley, Barbara Borman, Lauren Naran, Heather Brown, Jay, Nicole Watt, Spike Dog, uh, Iva Apophis, Deb, Five Green Acres, Swade Smith, Deanna Burdett, Fur Baby Daddy. I don't know who else I'm missing. Who am I missing? Leave your name down if you want me to say your name. I'm not going back any further. I'm tired now, and I'm getting impatient. But the supporters tonight were Jennifer Hoff, David Rogers, Mark Ellis, Ninja Warrior Assassin, Deb, Kate Eleanor, Swade Smith, Sandra Rowley, everyone sending super chats, memberships, and all that stuff. Thank you for gifting the membership to Fur Baby Daddy. I appreciated that. I'm sure he will too. Um, anyway, y'all, yeah, Friday night. Possum Friend, what's up? Possum Friend in the house. All right, we got Cromley. What up, Cromley? Cromley's here. Mr. Cromley. I know Mr. Cromley, and I appreciate him for being here. All right. Five Green Acres. Thank you for supporting. Jim Chrisman. All right. You look forward to the shows. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate all the kind words. I truly do, because you don't understand the amount of harassment and aggravation that goes on. So appreciate the kind words when you send the kind words. Okay. What's up, Miss K? All right. By the way, for the idiot on Facebook harassing me, trying to shame me for my height. Okay, you know I got to do it. You know I got to do it. Delphi, search for a killer. Special shout out to Candy Parita. Candy Parita, piece of advice here. I'm not 5'2". I'm not shorter than Richard Allen. I'm not a tall guy, but I'm 5'6". There's nothing you can ever do about it. And trying to shame me in the Facebook group for Becky Patty, it's not ever going to work. We don't like you. We'll never like you. Screenshot everything. And one day I'll show it to all the viewers so they can go and let you know how they feel too. So special shout out to Candy Parita, Troll Farm Extraordinary, in the hate group called Delphi, Search for a Killer. As you know, all of the Facebook groups are controlled for narrative spinning for the family and have been since day one. So special shout out to Facebook for being a bunch of miserable old cat ladies who have nothing better to do than harass, slander, and basically aggravate people actually doing something. Where's your live streams? Okay. So that's enough. I'm done with you, Facebook. Mean old cat ladies who need to get a life and stop blaming Richard Allen for something you don't know about. Anyway, I may be short, but you're dumb. With that being said, that's the hate for tonight. All right, that's the hate for tonight. So, yeah, they've discredited themselves since day one. So, God bless Libby and Abby. God bless all of you. And hey, here's one thing that never existed. Wait, that's not it. Whoa, that's it. You want to see a gaslight? There you go. So, special shout out to Delphi, Search for a Killer. Show me where that ever existed, and maybe I'll say you're okay. All right. So until then, special shout out to Delphi, Search for a Killer, and all the other Becky Patty Facebook groups. Where's that photo anyway? Is that a real thing? Did that ever happen? What about that? Shame on you. Shame. Remember the awesome letter to Judge Gull? Shame. And that's what you get. So please clip that and please use it. I'd appreciate you using that. Clip me all you want, and I'll still say shame.
Guys.